All right, so I guess big news. I fucking quit my job. The job that I was working so hard to get, and the job that I was terrified to lose. I kind of had to say enough was enough based on like how they were treating me, and I guess I'll get more into that in a second here. Before I get into that, I do want everybody to know I have another job lined up where I start July 1st. So I did have something. It's a job I worked before. It's the one at the law firm I was telling you guys about previously. And, I get to work from home from there at least. I would save a lot of money on expenses, be able to work on my programming and work on applying for more programming jobs from home while I'm doing that. So that's the main goal there. But yeah, I had to quit my job, man. And I'll get into a multitude of reasons why. I'm gonna kind of break. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I'm gonna kind of break it all down together. So I don't want to say the company I was working for because I don't want to like do them like that. Because some people there are kind of cool people, like they are nice people. For the most part, there's some people that are like straight up just real piece of shit ass bags. But we'll get into that. Um, I guess I'll start with how I found the company in the first place. Like I said, I was looking for any job possible. I'm a former software engineer. Lost my job because my old employers, the small business, they lost a bunch of their clients by overusing AI for their own stuff. And then I get into this situation where I'm unemployed for like months on end, and I was applying to everything, applying to like Target, applying to fucking gas stations, like literally anything, and I did not get accepted to anywhere. It was wild. And I have like, I'd like to think for my age, a fucking good resume. But anyways, back to the main point here. I find out about this company from my dad. My dad, he works kind of in sales. He used to work in sales, and now he more so manages a team of people in sales. And he was saying, hey, we're working with this company. Like my company's working with this company at a corporate level because like they have a great like employee training program, and they have like a high success rate with new employees kind of thing. And so he was like, you should try hitting them up. They're hiring all the time, 24/7. And I had never heard of this company before. So I look them up. I go to apply. They are a massive fucking company. Like their revenue was almost $2 billion last year. So like it's not like a small company, but they don't really do traditional marketing, and I'll get into that in a second. So I start working there. A lot of people mostly seemed cool. Everybody seemed relatively nice at first. You can kind of tell some people thought they were the shit when like in reality it's like, yeah, you make a lot of money, but like some of these people are just straight scumbags. And that's fine. Like you're going to find a scumbag at every job at the end of the day. Like that's just going to happen. And this was a very large company with a lot of employees. This was just their one branch in the area that I worked at, and there's like 300 people in just this branch. It's fucking massive, and they're in like I think 20 states now, some shit like that. And what rubbed me the wrong way almost immediately was my first day of training basically was just like them sitting us down, going over like their employee handbook a little bit about the benefits of working there, like hyping themselves up so you stay the rest of the 2 weeks for training kind of thing. And that was cool. Like it was like what any other company would do. It was all right. And the next day was their big like joint meeting. And so this is my second day ever in this office. My entire training class, it was me and I think 13 other people. So 14 in total. By the second day, it was just 13 in total. And then we kind of all stuck it out to the end together. One guy fucking got the memo quickly and dipped early. So shout out to him because he saw that shit. He saw that shit crystal clear. But yeah, so this big meeting we go to on the second day, there's like everybody in the company in this big ass boardroom. It's fucking wild. They have like 2 flat screens on the walls, like huge ones with like a bunch of like slides and all that. And then they start like screaming. They're like, oh, who's ready to fucking sell? Who's ready to fucking make some fucking money? Like just like that. And it was like I don't know, like if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, it was like that, but like so much cornier because it was because like they were trying their hardest to be that, and they kept bringing up like they actually brought up Wolf of Wall Street twice in the meeting, and I get like getting your employees hype and all that, but it was just like it was real weird, and I'm out here kind of like sitting through it. A lot of people in my class are like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on here?" And there was one guy who me and him kind of like hit it off pretty quickly because he was talking about how he was like a kickboxing instructor before, and I was like, dude, like I used to do Muay Thai, so we talked about shit like that. We kind of became a little close, like out of everybody in the first couple days, me and him kind of like were kind of hanging out a little bit, and he was like, dude, like this company is fucking bizarre. He's like, I've never heard of them before. I find the job on Indeed because that's how he found the job. And he's like, and they got 1.7 billion in sales. They got people like fucking jumping out of their chairs, like screaming, like, let's fucking go, Tampa. Like acting like they're in like a fucking movie when like, I don't know, they're competing for like an extra like $250 on their paycheck. And it was a real bizarre situation. It's a situation I've never found myself in before. So maybe like I'm just, out of the loop here. Maybe that's normal in a lot of places. I don't know. But yeah, that was something that threw me off like fucking crazy. I eventually go through the training, and as we go through training, we have two bosses. And I'll give them both fake names here because one of them was actually a cool dude. We'll give one, his name will be Jim. And then the head boss, who's even, Jim would be like my boss. And then Jim's boss, we'll call him Ron. Dude, Ron was a cool dude. He loved basketball. He used to like play semi-pro, and he was just like this very big like dude. He was like a huge man, and he used to play semi-pro basketball. He was a cool guy, and like I don't have anything bad to say about him. He was just this big Australian guy. But the guy underneath him that was my boss, Jim, holy shit, Jim was like genuinely the douchiest person I've ever met. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, like I know that like they both make great money. Like they have a thing at the company where like, you can see everybody's paychecks, which is something I actually don't like. But that's the thing that you can actively do. You can see everybody's paychecks, see everybody's performance. You can see everything, and including theirs. So you can see how much they're getting paid, their bonuses. Like they do make fat money. They also pay you like thousands of dollars just for referring people there. It genuinely is like a pyramid scheme, but a W-2 position. That's like the best way I could describe it. And me and Jim didn't really get along. He never really seemed to like me too much, and like vice versa. Like I'm not gonna act like I was like trying to be his best friend and he was just being a dick. Like no, like he just. I don't know, he wasn't my guy, I guess. And Ron was always like, I took the time to talk to him a couple times. I'm kind of more reserved and quiet in like my actual life, at the end of the day. Like I might not come across that way on here, but I'm a very like reserved, I'm kind of a shy person sometimes, like it depends on the situation. But like that is like something that like I just am, And they didn't like that very much, neither of them. They're like, you gotta be very outgoing for this, which I mean, like, it's a fucking door-to-door sales job, so they're not wrong. Like, I did have to be, like, outgoing for that. And that was, like, one of my bigger struggles with the job. But we'll get back to Jim and Ron in a second here because they come back into play later. So eventually we finish training, and they're like, all right, you guys are going to head out into the field. At this point, we had shadowed, like during our training, we'd shadowed people that are like door knocking. They're going to be like our mentor. And so we've been shadowing them, and we'll be like, all right, if you have any questions, talk to them. They should be reaching out to you after you're like, after their shift. They should be giving you phone calls and all that stuff. Like they're, like being paid to mentor you. And so I go into, like the end of training, and everybody's like, yeah, like my mentor, we were on the phone last night, and he was telling me like all this, and this. And I'm sitting here like, yo, my mentor has not talked to me one time ever. So I'm starting to think like, did I fuck up somewhere? Like, like basically I shadowed him, and then he sent me one text message in the 2 weeks of training, and that was it. And then and I kind of brought that up to Jim, and Jim, I didn't know this at the time. Jim is very good friends with the person that was my mentor. And so Jim's like, no, like you're just not giving him a fair chance, man. Like it's not cool to be like a dick to people, man. You should really try like to be a nicer dude. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is insanity. So I'm kind of annoyed at this point, but I let it go. My mentor then leaves the country for 2 weeks to go to like Italy or some shit in Europe. Maybe it was France. I don't know. I think it was Italy. But he left the country for 2 weeks, completely like out of work and all that. Obviously, don't text him while he's out of the country. Like he's doing his own thing. He's on vacation. He even said like, yo, no one reach out to me. And so needless to say, my first couple weeks in the field, I'm not doing good. Already it's a kind of job that I'm just not great at. Like it's just not my skill set. I'm not a salesman at the end of the day. I don't try to be. I don't claim to be. It's just not me. And so this happens, and they start telling me like, all right, like no worries. First couple weeks, you got to pick it up and all that. And then after I want to say it was my third week, because the first week I was in the field, my mentor, he was there, and then the next 2 weeks afterwards, he was gone. Well, okay, my first week in the field was only 2 days, so he was there for the first 2 days. I was in the field. The next 2 weeks, he was gone. And then, and so I get called into my boss's office after those 2 weeks are over, and they're like, "Hey, you've had really bad numbers. Like, you got to get that up. We understand that you're new and that sales isn't really your thing." And this is Jim I'm talking to. I was supposed to be talking to Jim and Ron, but Ron was in a meeting and unavailable, so I'm talking to Jim. And Jim is telling me, he's like, you got to do this and this. If you don't hit these numbers in the next 2 weeks, like we're gonna have to let you go. And he makes me like sign a document saying basically I have to like set, I think it was like 10 appointments in 2 weeks, which shouldn't be that hard to do. The company average, or like the average out here, is like a little more than two appointments a day. So most people in those 2 weeks are getting around, I don't know, like 15 appointments, because it's like 2.5 appointments a day. And we work 5 days a week. So most people are getting that amount. And they were upset at me because I didn't have 10 yet. And I was like, all right, like I'm trying. So I put a huge effort in. I ended up doing pretty decent. I tell Jim, I'm like, hey, like my mentor, dude, he's not been here. Like I did something that would really fucking help me if I had someone I could like ask questions and like they could answer my questions. He's like, yeah, but he's only been gone. Like your whole first week you still didn't perform and he was here. And I'm like, my whole first week was 2 days. And he kind of just like shushed me a little bit and was like, dude, like it's not that big of a deal, bro, like whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is the guy I do not fuck with. I want to be very clear. I did not like this guy Jim. This guy Jim was a total like the biggest douchebag you could think of. Like he was showing us pictures of like him in Alexis, Texas, which was a weird thing to do at work, and I'm sure HR would have loved that because like he met her at like a bar somewhere. But anyways, I mean, if you guys know, but that was a wild thing he did one time too. But this guy basically did all that shit, and then eventually, I had to like go out there do my shit. I eventually didn't hit my numbers, and then actually, what we come to today, and today is the big shit that happened. And so I haven't hit my numbers. My team lead, she texted me and she's like, hey, we're going to be out in this location on this day. And in the text, she had it like segmented out, but in the bottom she said, hey, we have a meeting, like a department meeting today at 10 a.m. And I was like, all right, I saw that was yesterday, which was the weekend. She sent it to me, like to send it ahead of time. She did everything right there. Let me be very clear. She did everything right there. However, like I said, this was sent to me Sunday morning, so I didn't even fucking like put 2 and 2 together in my head. I totally forgot about the early start time because normally we'd start at 11 a.m. And so I didn't know we were starting at, I forgot we were starting at 10. Like, this is on me here. This is like me taking the blame on this one. I forgot we were starting at 10. So I'm getting ready for work this morning, and I get a phone call from her at like 10:40. She's like, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm getting ready to head out, head out to the area in Tampa we're heading out to." And she's like, "Why aren't you in the office?" And I was like, am I supposed to be in the office? Because like normally we have like a work app that would tell us if we have like a big meeting, and the app didn't give us any notifications today. I guess there was a glitch with that. So like that wasn't their fault either, to be fair. That was like a company-wide thing, not just here in Tampa. So I'm like, oh, like, my bad. Like I looked at our text, and I'm like, you did tell me, like that's my fault there, that's on me. And she's just like, yeah, it is on you. And then she hung up on me. And this is like my boss, like my direct boss. And then like Jim would be her boss. He's also my boss too, but he's like her boss. And then Ron is everyone's fucking boss. And so she is like, all right, we'll have to go talk to Ron. And she like hangs up on me after that, right? And I'm like, all right, like that's awkward, And I've already was talking with the employer I'm starting with on June 1st. I'd been talking with them for the past week. Trying to get my start date set up and all that. Like I said, it's my old work, so I was just like texting my old boss. She's a great person too. Like, actually, I'm kind of excited to go back there because they were all great people. I only left because I got the software engineering job. So this happens, and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, so I start heading out there, and if you know about Tampa, like the freeways out here, or highways as they call them out here, are all like fucking, they're a mess, especially at traffic time. Like they aren't really built for how many people are in Tampa because so many people moved here so recently. And so as I'm on the road there's a 3-car pileup on the off-ramp. And we all have to merge. It's a 1-lane off-ramp where we have to merge onto the freeway. And so now not only do I have to merge and cross all 4 lanes of this freeway, but I gotta like, we're going so slow because of this pileup. And she calls me while I'm in the pileup, and I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And she's like, where'd you park? And I'm like, oh, I'm like 5 minutes away. At this point, so our start time was now 12 o'clock in the field because they had the 10 a.m. meeting. So it's 12 o'clock in the field. And at this point, it was 11:55, and I told her I was 10 minutes away. So I would be 5 minutes late to like parking and knocking on doors. And I'm just telling her like, hey, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm sorry. And she's, or 10 minutes away. I'm sorry. And she's like, I just find it really funny how you're going to be late to a department, how you're going to miss a department meeting and not be on time for your actual job. And then I was like, well, like I was, like 10 minutes ahead of schedule. I mean, there's a big pile up right now. And she's like, I just find it funny because you live so close to the office, and like you can't even handle getting here on time. And she was like, I was like, yo, what is going on? Like she's always been kind of like a dick, but she was never like this. And I was like, all right. And then like I was trying to tell her, I was like, like look, like I'm on my way. I'll let you know I get there. As I'm talking, she hangs up on me, and I'm like, okay, this girl has called me like upset and then hanging up on me twice this morning. The first one I understand, like I did miss that meeting. That's on me. Like I did miss the fucking meeting. This one though, like I've never like I'm usually a very good on time like employee. Like I've never been late for this job, especially. I mean, I've only been here for like a month, but never been late to this job. So I'm like, I don't know what else they want me to do here. Like I was trying to make up for my mistake. I was gonna get there 5 minutes early, end up getting there, like I was end up gonna get there 5 minutes late because of the traffic. And that's just, I can't control the world. So like that kind of frustrated me. And then at that moment, I get a text message from my old boss, about to be my new boss again. And she goes, hey, we can have you start July 1st. And I saw that, and that's all I fucking needed, because I knew that I was already on thin ice. They were thinking about firing me already. I think they probably were going to do that. Okay, in my mindset right now, I was like, that's probably why they were so upset I wasn't at the meeting today, because they were probably going to fire me in office because they like doing that stuff in person. And so I'm like, that's why they're so upset. She calls me and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm fucking quitting. Right? Like, I've never like quit a job out of spite, but I was like, I have a job set up where I start next week exactly. I can wait this week out because I was going to work until I started the next place. I can't at this place. So I text my boss. I text Ron, right? I text the real one. And I'll read you guys exactly what I said to Ron, because I said to him, I was trying to be like polite, and I said, let me see right here, just so I can make sure I like don't lie to you guys. I said, hey, Ron, I'm sorry to do this over text. And I said, I'm resigning. I understand that I haven't been the best at the job and that sales probably isn't my path. I appreciate you and Jim for what you've done for me when it comes to mentoring, which, by the way, fuck Jim. I was trying to be nice. And I'm sure I'll use the lessons I learned here in the future. And I said, I wish this could have been a sit-down conversation, but after my call with my team lead, I don't want to say her name, but my team lead today, I have to make the decision I feel is best for me. And I could tell when I'm not welcome somewhere anymore. That's the feeling I've been getting recently. And then I said, I appreciate you being supportive and trying to mentor me in the right direction. And then I basically was like, I appreciate your basketball analogies. You know, I was trying to be like friendly because he talks about basketball a lot and I fuck with basketball. So I was trying to like, keep it light, but obviously like I'm quitting my job. So it was a weird one. And then he said, all good, mate. I forgot to say he's Australian. All good, mate. You missed your plan and we were supposed to sit down together, so you were being let go today anyways. Appreciate the text though. Good luck. And now the guy I stream with, my best friend Zach, I called him and I was like, yo, like listen to this. And he's like, yeah, he's just butthurt that you quit before he could fire you today, because he was going to have me come in the office, I guess, after I worked a full shift and then fire me. So that was real annoying, but it is what it is, like that's what happens. I don't have to deal with them anymore. I have a new job starting soon. But I just kind of want to give you guys like a big rundown of what happened, like let you guys know, like this guy looking for a job for so long fucking just quit his job after a month. I have something lined up. I am starting somewhere next week, a week from the day I'm recording this. And so, yeah, that basically sums up my experience here. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, like, this company, like, I don't want to like call them out and all that, but a lot of the people there are straight fucking scumbags. There are some people that are really cool people there. And I did text them after I left and was like, hey, it was nice working with you. Like, like, I hope you guys continue to do well and all this stuff, right? Because there are some people there I would consider like a friend. Like, they're really cool people. And that's just not what this company was about. Like, the company is just run in a very odd way. I don't like the fact that Jim was getting real upset with me because my mentor was out of country for 2 weeks. I mean, like we got out of training May 24th or something like that, around that time. I worked 2 days with my mentor here. 2 weeks he was gone. Then they have that conversation like, look, if you don't pick it up these next 2 weeks, you're out of here. Those 2 weeks ended last Friday, or I guess last Thursday, because Juneteenth was Friday, so we were off. And then Monday, this is when they were gonna, let me go this morning, and I guess I just kind of beat them to it by coincidence and like luck, I guess, whether that's bad luck or good luck, I don't know. But yeah, so that's the shit I dealt with this morning. Nothing too crazy, like there's definitely worse things in life, but what a fucking bizarre twist on the fucking job search thing. But I'm happy I get to work from home again. I'll be able to make more videos. I'll be able to get back into software engineering and be able to apply for more jobs. And I mean, that at the end of the day, that's the goal, right? Make a lot of fucking YouTube videos and try to get back into software engineering. That's my main 2 goals right now. And I'm able to do both of those things with the company I'm moving towards now. And I do have a good relationship with everybody at that company. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys all for listening. I'm trying to get better about my outros. So, fucking deuces. Lazerta out.